Someone robbed my car. They tried to steal my Bluetti AC180, which used to be right there. I brought it in the house to protect against thieves, which gives me the perfect opportunity to do a review of them in my studio. At the end of the video, I'll go over how I was able to prevent the thieves from stealing my beloved Bluetti AC180, but today I'm going to do a long overdue review of the Bluetti AC180 and the AC50B and compare them to my EcoFlow River Pro. The first thing you'll notice here is the size. Obviously this one's got a much bigger capacity, it's a much bigger unit, weighs about 35 pounds, weighs about 18 pounds for the smaller units. So let's break down the units here. I've switched from EcoFlow over to Bluetti. This is not a sponsored video, this is not paid. First off, let's look at the basic features here. This comes with 4 big plugs, this one comes with 2 big plugs, and this one comes with 3 big plugs on the side. Right away you'll notice that's a major design flaw because now you have to have 2 sides of this unit that are always available to have space around it to use it. It's actually 3 sides because the fuse over here on this one, along with the external power intake here to charge it out of your house and your solar panel connector here, is all on this side. So this unit, you actually have to have 3 sides open and the top with the handle. Now in comparison, these 2 units are just a lot better. They're flat on top, so you can stack them. You can put one on top of the other. Most of the stuff is on the front. The only thing that's on the side, as you can see here, is the wall charger. That's it. So looking on the side and the back, there's nothing here. You can easily just stack these units for way better use of space. And taking a look at this one, same thing. Most of the stuff is up front here, but there is the same. The wall input plug is there, as well as this reset button. The big unit here is the only one with 15-watt wireless charging. The other 2 don't have this. This is convenient if you have this up top somewhere, and then you can just throw your phone on there and charge it. If you're stacking these when it's something you wouldn't be using. But once again, the handle on this one is so obnoxious, you have no idea if you're just getting into van life. Trying to make this work, you have to always have this on the top of everything. It's so obnoxious. I considered taking a screwdriver and trying to pop these out and unscrew this handle just so it wasn't there, but even still, the plastic is molded, so it wouldn't really make a difference. The only thing you can really do is take these out and then potentially try to put some screws in here with a flat board just so you have a flat surface on top. Now if it's your first time to my channel, you can see by everything behind me here, this is what I do with van life. I go out in the summertime, I hike mountains and film videos. I'm a part-time van lifer, and over the past year I've been doing more political videos, so I don't live in my vehicle full time, but I do edit videos on the road, and I need to be able to charge my laptop and work off of my laptop with my power stations. And considering I sleep in a 2009 Honda CR-V, space is at a premium, so when you have stuff like the handle here of this EcoFlow taking up space, you can't stack anything on it, is really obnoxious. So looking at the front face of these units, so first off, this one here, the EcoFlow's got 100 watt, it's got 2 USB-C, and it's got a fast charge USB. It's also got this light here, which I never used. It's got a power for the DC on and off, and then the AC power is on the side, which I should say is really obnoxious because over time, this is jammed in here and you gotta tuck your fingers in and try to push this button. Trying to save space, you just push this up as close as possible to whatever, you know, the side of the car or a box or the build out in your vehicle, and then pushing this button is hard to find. Plus, if you ended up using this thing where you expand the power on it, then suddenly you really won't have the ability to save space like you would with these units. So I'm not a fan of those design flaws. As for the actual plugs, they're similar. They're a little different if we move over to this one, the Bluetti AC50B. This is a 700 watt continuous power. It's 440 watt hours as compared to this one, 720 watt hours. And while we're comparing watt hours, the big one here, the Bluetti AC180, is 1152 watt hours with 1800 watts. So basically, if you're looking to run a griddle or something like that, power tools, you can do it on the big one. Anything that's more power intensive, that really spikes high, you're gonna need something with a higher continuous wattage of use. So moving back over to the front face here, this one's got a 65 watt USB-C, another 65 watt, and a 15 watt USB-A. It's got 2 plugs as we looked at earlier. It's got the DC plug here for a fridge, much like this one here I've got from Bouge RV. This one's got its solar input here. So we noticed on this one, it's on the outside here. So once again, you have to have more space available to use the solar on this. This one up front here, much easier. This also plugs into your car if you want to charge this while driving. It's the same plug. And the difference between this one, this uses this plug here, which it does have an adapter which adapts to this. So a little bit difference there. Like this one, this also has a DC on the front, so you want to plug in your fridge or whatever. This one's a little different though. It's got 100 watt USB-C and 4 USB-A plugs here. These are all 3 amp. As I noted for the EcoFlow, the AC plug on the side here, the Bluetti, they're right here up front. It's really easy. You just push this, turns on the DC, and that turns on the DC power. If you want to turn on the AC or turn off the AC, that's right there. This just makes more sense. You only want to make one surface available and then be able to build around this. So same thing with this one here. DC is here, AC is here. Should note too, this one has a bigger fan because it's a bigger unit, so it's a little bit louder when you're using it at full capacity. Then again, it does crank up to 1800 watts, so that makes sense. I was talking about my big gripes with EcoFlow and why I've switched away from it over to Bluetti. I went on a road trip across America and I slept in my vehicle for 3 months, editing and hiking videos every single day, and I had this unit. This worked good for 3 months, and when I went to use it the next year for the next summer hiking season, it broke on the first day. Something shorted out, something fused out or whatever. I had to send this into EcoFlow. I had to send them email after email for 3 weeks before they finally got back in contact with me. And when I sent this in, I had to get a cardboard box and just taped it up and sent it in. They eventually sent it back to me about a month later. It was a long process to get this fixed. They did fix it for me, but I just felt it was a little bit janky. They did cover the cost of shipping and they did honor their warranty. I used it for about 4 months and it broke. I'm just not happy with that level of build quality. I mean, if you're a full-time van lifer, you'd be using this day in and day out for years, let alone 4 months. The next thing I don't like about my EcoFlow is in the winter time or when it got cold, the battery just seems to trickle down. Like it just goes down and down and down. Despite charging up to 100%, after a couple days, it's down to like 80%. It just keeps trickling down, where these ones, I brought these in after someone tried to steal them from my vehicle and they're still sitting at 100%. I mean, look at this. It's been a couple months since I've used this now over the winter time, and it's still sitting here, 99%. This just doesn't lose power. The fact that this thing burnt out after 4 months and it took me like a month and a half to fix this, I was sitting there waiting with no power, having to use one of those car inverters that you had to run your car and then you're able to plug in a laptop. I was having to work like that. There was one night where I went to a truck stop and plugged in between 2 bathrooms and I was standing there with my laptop trying to get some work done, and it stunk so bad. It's just obnoxious when you plan a trip and then the unit pops after the second day. So throw in the customer service of 3 weeks to fix it and the awful handle design and the fact, as I mentioned, you have to have 3 sides available here to be able to use this thing. When these units stack and I've had no problems with them whatsoever, it's easy for me to come to a conclusion that I just much prefer the Bluetti product, just much more reliable and just doesn't drain. The battery just doesn't tick down and drain on both of them. So obviously they're using a different type of battery than what EcoFlow is using. Something in here just trickles down, trickles down. I don't know if I have a defective unit or whatever it may be, but it's obnoxious when you're expecting your battery to be 100% and it's trickled down to 75%. One other note about the EcoFlow, the version 2, the River Pro 2, they have fixed the handle problem as well as moving stuff onto the front like the Bluetti, but I haven't tested that unit, so I don't know if they fixed the battery drain problem as well as just the durability, the build quality problems I've had with my EcoFlow. So you guys want to check out this further, I'll link them up down below. You can check out all the specs and all that kind of stuff. I should note too, these handle 200 watt solar panels. That one handles a lot more, I think 500 watts. Now let me head back out to my car and show you how I protected my unit from getting stolen, something that everyone should consider if you're a full-time or part-time van lifer. Now the secret to how I prevented them from stealing my Bluetti? Well, first off, let me show you. So it sits right here. I put these screws here and it sits right in there so it doesn't move around. There's some screws here on the side, so it's perfectly placed right there. But the secret weapon I have is behind the seat here. You can see I've got a bike lock here, which is attached to this metal bar on the seat, and this bike lock goes up and through the handle of the Bluetti and then locks back around to itself here. So they yanked on this, they tried to get this out. The thief climbed in from the passenger door on the front there, leaned back here and was pulling and yanking, but couldn't get it out because of the bike lock. So I highly recommend everyone put a bike lock on their unit, attach it to something metal in your car. And would you believe, when I looked in the car here, specifically in this box, they went through this and started ripping stuff through here, just trying to find the crown jewels, and all they found was canned goods down here, old canned goods. And you know what I found in my car when I searched through it? A pair of AirPods. Now, I don't own an iPhone. These fell out of the criminal's pocket. I'm still trying to figure out who owns these. I may have to go to an Apple store at this point because I've tried to connect it to a couple of friends' iPhones and it doesn't seem to work. But I have the criminal's AirPods here, so we've got a stupid criminal that basically stole about $100 worth of stuff and then had their $100 pair of AirPods fall out of my car. So yeah, lock up your Bluetti unit with a bike lock. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.